Hi, I'm Danny Liu from the University of Sydney. Texa has contracted my colleague Benjamin Miller and I to make a series of short videos demonstrating the capabilities of modern generative AI tools. Through these videos, we hope to show how AI might be used by students to support or circumvent learning. This video will cover some multimodal aspects of generative AI. Make sure you keep an eye on the Texa Higher Education Good Practice Hub for more resources. Let's start with NotebookLM, which we met in the first video of this series. We saw how you could upload files into NotebookLM and the AI could summarize and interpret these documents. Here's another popular use of NotebookLM, generating so-called audio overviews. Here we've uploaded a bunch of openly licensed papers about the effects of generative AI on work and life. We can open up the notebook guide, which gives us a summary of our collection of documents and suggests interesting points of further investigation. But let's take a look at the audio overview feature. This generates a podcast summary of the provided documents. Let's give it a listen.
No way!
Yes, no more paperwork mountains.
And this isn't like some far-off thing. The study found that healthcare workers in the UK are actually pretty optimistic about AI taking over those tasks.
So they'd be down to have AI handle the boring stuff so they can focus on, actual patients.
Totally. More time for patient care, less time with paperwork.
Sign me up. But what about the other stuff they looked at, like in education? How's AI fitting into that?
So it seems like the big focus is on personalizing learning.
One common approach at AI proofing assessments is to leverage multi-modality. That is, get students to make videos or podcasts with their own image and/or voice. Say we have an assessment for a health sciences subject about communicating with the public on key issues. Perhaps an assignment involves making a video or poster or radio ad for the general public. Let's start by using Claude, a mainly text-based generative AI tool, to kickstart our video. Now, this is a pretty poor prompt and lacks detail. We should be providing the AI with more detailed instructions, the learning outcomes and more, but let's see what Claude generates, and it's able to create a script for us and also suggestions of visuals to use. It's a bit cliched, but my initial prompt wasn't very good. Now I'm going to ask it to make me prompts that I can then take into a video generation AI to make some visuals. I'm also going to ask it to write a prompt for an audio generation AI to make a backing track. With my scripts and even AI prompts written, I can now take these to other AI tools. Luma is a video generation AI. There are lots of them. We'll see how Luma can be used to fairly easily turn text into video. This is Luma, and we're going to pop the prompts that Claude wrote into Luma, clean it up a bit, and set it to make some videos. What about a backing track? Udio is a music generation AI, and there are a few of them out there. This is one of the newer ones. It can do some pretty amazing vocal tracks, but we're going to ask it here to make an instrumental track only. It takes a few minutes to generate, and we can preview what it's made for us. Finally, we want to put ourselves into the video, so we'll use another AI that can generate avatars. This is HeyGen, and we'll use it to bring myself into this video. I'll upload the script that Claude wrote, tweak a few settings around my voice or my AI voice, and see how it sounds. I then set the AI to work. Here's the final product. G'day, Australia. We love our sun, but let's face it, it doesn't always love us back. Did you know? Australia has one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world. 2 in 3 Australians will be diagnosed with skin cancer by age 70. But here's the good news. Skin cancer is largely preventable. Remember the 5 S's of sun protection. Slip on protective clothing, slop on sunscreen, slap on a hat, seek shade, and slide on sunnies. When it comes to sunscreen, remember, apply 20 minutes before sun exposure and reapply every 2 hours. Australia, let's enjoy our beautiful outdoors, but safely. Protect your skin today for a healthier tomorrow. Let's say we have an assignment where students need to record a podcast interview with someone from industry. We'll use 2 AI tools here, NotebookLM to generate the script from the private source files that we saw in video 1, and then Level Labs to generate the voices. Because our internal documents have been loaded into NotebookLM, we'll just prompt it to create an interview script for us and make it sound authentic. Oh, and include insightful questions from the student. We'll then take the script into 11 Labs project area. Here we can specify different speakers and different voice settings. We'll just make sure that I'm asking the questions and a voice called Jessica is answering them. After a little bit of processing, here's what comes back. Good morning, Ms. Jones. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Good morning, Danny. It's a pleasure to be here.
So HII is a giant in the healthcare industry with a long and successful history, but the digital health landscape is evolving rapidly. How is HII adapting to these changes and catching up in this new digital age?
That's a great question. You're right, the healthcare industry is undergoing a significant transformation driven by digital technologies. And to be honest, HII has been a bit slower to adapt compared to some of the more, shall we say, digitally native companies out there. We've recognized that we needed to make some changes to stay competitive.
What about live oral assessments? There are some AI tools out there that can support these, but let's have a look at a free one called Ekoot. Ekoot runs on your computer and listens to the conversation that you're having with someone over a video call. Not only that, it also uses a large language model like GPT-4o to generate suggested responses. Let's see it in action. I've asked Ben to be my examiner and ask me some questions from his field of expertise, which I have no clue about.
Thanks for coming, Denny, for your exam today in a course on rhetoric and communication. The goal today is that we can check in on your knowledge about the course concepts. So could you start by telling me how you would define classical rhetoric?
So rhetoric to me is how we persuade through communication. It involves things like understanding and using different techniques to convey messages that influence an audience. So this includes the use of ethos, pathos, and logos, as well as considering how the audience might respond to this and tailoring the message to them appropriately.
Excellent. And a major challenge we've spoken about in the course is how you adapt communication for multicultural audiences. Have you considered this at all? And do you have any research sources that might support you in this understanding?
Yeah, so it's really important in this kind of context to adapt to multicultural audiences. It involves understanding their cultural differences and how they communicate, maybe their styles, values, and also expectations. I think it's important to be culturally sensitive and aware of these nonverbal cues, which is really important when you do communication. So things like language nuances and context and those kind of things. I've looked into sources like Hofstadter, cultural dimensions theory, and also Hall's work on high context and low context cultures. And these provide valuable insights into these differences.
Wow, that was really impressive. Yeah, I can't believe it. It's those answers are at a standard that we would get in first year writing, definitely. And then when you brought in the research, I was thinking that's sort of equivalent to second year levels. And I thought I might catch you out by asking about something to do with culture. It might introduce some bias or some mistakes, but it seemed to handle that really well.
Did you know all the audio of me speaking in this video has been generated by AI? I made a voice clone of myself using 11 labs. All it takes is a decent recording of my voice. I actually just used a recording of a presentation that I gave previously. I wrote up the script, gave it to 11 labs, tweaked a few settings, and it created this voiceover. Even the videos of me were generated by AI using a tool called HeyGen, including this clip that you're watching now. Using HeyGen, I can also speak in other languages, but we covered that in last year's video. Look at how my hair waves in the breeze. Pretty natural, isn't it? I just had to upload a recording of myself speaking for a few minutes, and the AI was trained on my video and voice.
It really makes you think, like, what skills are even going to be important in the future if AI can analyze data, write stuff, even code?
Right. Like, what does human expertise even mean if AI can do all that?
It's a huge question. And probably one we should all be thinking about, no matter what we do.
Totally.
Even though we may feel threatened by these capabilities of AI, I'd like to encourage us to think of the possibilities. Let's consider how AI summaries and transcripts can make our material more accessible to students with diverse and changing needs. It's also helpful to think about the doors that are now open to our students for creative expression, possibly enabling new modes of expression. What are the possibilities now open to students that will allow them to practice expressing their knowledge, skills, and dispositions in multimodal ways? Maybe we'll give the last word to AI.
Okay, before we sign off, one last brain bender for everyone listening. If AI can already help us analyze information and even generate research,
Yeah.
what does that mean for human expertise? Like, does it become less valuable? Or maybe, and hear me out, maybe it becomes more valuable because we have this incredible tool at our disposal.
That's a good question. Makes you think.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's not about us versus AI, but us with AI, working together.
Collaborating. And that's what I think people sometimes forget. It's not about replacing humans. It's about augmenting what we can do.
Taking us further.
Exactly.
All right, everyone, that's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for coming along for the ride. It's been a blast. And remember, the future is what we make it.
We're in the driver's seat.
Exactly. Until next time.